Okay, now that this seems to be working properly, I'm going to try this again. Hey, what's up? Everybody, this is the Mix777, the random YouTuber better known as. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Here's the deal with this video that I'm going to be putting up and post-commentating. Post-commentating because I wouldn't be able to do it during. Jesus Christ. Anyway, here's the deal. I have several replays from Ketsui Death Label, the 2D Maniac shoot 'em up, and I thought they'd make for good YouTube filler, so I'm putting them up right now. They're already up, and I will be post-commentating over the second one that I put up, the Death Label course run, which is the third to last course. So I'm just testing this out. Hopefully the audio will fit in. I'll put something in here for filler, and we can begin right off the bat. So let's do it. So here we go with boss 1 of 11, Gemini from the stage 2 mid-boss level suburb. Gemini, in terms of death label difficulty, Gemini is probably the second easiest, with Sequence being the first. The only thing I should note is that the second tank, if you leave it alive too long, it'll actually start this super powerful attack that if you just take care of the first tank, it'll be easy to get rid of beforehand. Sorry, these are going to be flying by really fast. Now we have Seahorse, which is the original first boss from Stage 1, Interception. These first waves, if you accidentally autobomb, they're really good for getting your chips back. But speaking of autobomb, thank you very much. Anyway, here we go with Bullfrog. Yeah, the first two go by past really quickly. So Bullfrog, the original pain, I swear, getting the tile underneath that before destroying all this thing's parts is probably the most nightmarish thing to do in any video game. The first form, a good tactic I like to use is actually taking off the first edge of the wing on the right or the left, it's an either or kind of thing, and then keeping your lock shot, your main shot, on the actual Bullfrog itself to get a lot of standard chips to go with it. And the second form, it's kind of frustrating. Sometimes I don't miss it, but really fast. Alright, I got some time on this one. Sphinx is probably the longest of the four in the first few. Sphinx, well, it's always been a sort of a pain in the ass kind of boss for me. I still cannot no-miss the Death Label iteration of Sphinx. I can no-miss the version of Evac Near in Death Label, although I only did it once. Hey, I'm not the best. And Sphinx, like you just saw there, Sphinx is pretty damn annoying, especially for this attack. The launchers on the sides of it will actually generate missiles that generate bullets. The logic meter has been broken. Oh boy. And then this one always destroys me, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing there. In actual arcade runs, you're supposed to fly up through those, but I apparently did not get the memo. When you actually destroy all four of its portions of the two bits on the treads and next to the main cannon, it goes into its second form, which starts off with this pattern, which is sort of a wave fire. And then this one beats the shit out of me every single time, which is probably the one reason why I cannot no-miss this boss. And this one, the one you just saw there where it launches these giant, massive generator things out of its main cannon, absolutely nightmarish for me. And if you're using a Tiger Sword like I am, you're screwed. The best one to use for this is probably Panzer Jaeger, the Type B ship. Regardless of what you do, I'm using bombs here to sort of get my multiplier back from when I died. And there you have it. That is Sphinx. Well, second most. You'll see my most annoying. This is probably my third most. Jamadar. Stage 3? Yeah, Stage 3 actual boss. The trick with Jamadar is you have to actually time how you weave through these. I was being really orthodox dodging with that one and bobbing through them. These ones are good if you autobomb, you can get your chips back. Now we're back to the second one. Speaking of autobomb, guess what? Guess what just happened? Oh. Ouch. That's an early miss. I almost never know this Jamadar. I get close. The closest I got was getting to the final form, which on the Death Label is actually remarkably challenging, and getting nailed right at the very end. I think it was a mutual destruction. We both died at the same time. Second form. Took me a while to actually get this right for the evac report to destroy all this boss's parts, but how it works is he's got 4 parts you can destroy here. besides the Jamatar core, the center bit. You've got the two rotors on the side. You've got the two, I guess you could say, wings that support the rotors, and then you have the Jamatar core. You can see how they're flashing red when they're getting close to the brink, I guess you could say. And I always get caught up at the top when I try to dodge some of these attacks. And getting caught up at the top is pretty much a death sentence. So, after you've destroyed all 4 parts, it gets to this interesting part where you have just the core. Even in novice mode, it will shoot this non-stop. It'll be slower in novice mode, as is the case with what you're seeing now, and me dying on the final form again. Final phase again. Jamatar will always fire these non-stop, and I was just bomb spamming trying to get my multiplier back. I have a better score runner for this, as you can tell by the description, or the updated description as I'm going to. Alright, boss 6, Trafalgar. Here's the thing. Trafalgar is an easy boss if you want to get the evac report tile of 850 plus multiplier chips with a single bomb. What you want to do, I'll show you in just a moment, because it's actually one of the attacks in Trafalgar's first form. You're going to see it now. This one. What you want to do is rush up there and bomb when you're close to him, like you saw there. It's not that run. The highest I actually got was about 978, I believe. I won't be checking the rep from my actual play data to check it, but that I believe is the record that I have in a single bomb. Trafalgar is actually pretty easy. It's a break from the triple stage boss. We had Bullfrog, Sphinx, and Jamatar after that, before Trafalgar. Now here comes the worst boss for me. I know about the left-right button trick, but I don't use it for score runs because it's cheap and unfair. But Cinderella Amber is just, for me, it's a royal pain in the ass. As you just saw there, these arm bits, I guess you can call them mobile, I don't know how I dodged that. The mobile armor bits that it actually uses to fire at you, fun fact, those are invincible. You get points from them, but they're actually invulnerability points. You'll see in a moment. I should be able to show it during Cinderella Amber's. Yeah, the end of this form. You'll see it here. You see how it backs up. And you're also going to see how the armor plates, they don't flash blue, which means they're not taking damage. They effectively act as shields for Cinderella Amber. And if you actually bomb during that form, you can pretty much negate all the bullets that will stay in place. This form's just there. The second form is, there's a really bullshit safe spot that sometimes I'll abuse it. I think I do it in this run, I can't remember. It's just unfair, but it helps. If you're doing a score run and you want to keep your multiplier, you can easily harvest for chips in some of these spots. That's the safe spot pattern. We'll see it again in a moment. This attack took me forever to crack. I initially thought that if we could not destroy that fuse ball thing that it fires, that's the safe spot. That fuse ball thing that randomly fired the bullets at you while Cinderella had the giant wave of it coming towards you, it took me forever to figure that out. I eventually had to watch runs of the arcade version to actually crack that. It took me forever, but it was worth it, and these score runs kind of reflect that. They're not the best, don't get me wrong. These things are actually, in comparison to some potential super players, these runs are horrible. But hey, I'm confident in that. I'm confident in these runs, I like them. This attack gets tricky. Speak of the devil. Okay, yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. What you want to do, whenever you bomb or die by chance in a score run, which if you're playing on emulators you can do tool-assisted super play runs, but if you're not, then you can just bomb spam or get lucky with an auto bomb with the right chip pattern. Okay, Black Draft. Black Draft is an interesting trump card in the Death Later Course lineup to me. It's not hard per se, it's actually one of the easier ones, being a stage boss. But this attack here, I can never work it. I only recently learned that you have to stay at the bottom of the screen and slowly inch forward or to the side. It's just the main cannon attacks are really, really hellish. And it's an interesting mix. It throws bosses at you, then sub-bosses, and then it catches you off guard. I like that mix. It's interesting to just sort of challenge the player, but at the end of the day, it's just sort of a nuisance. Not that hard to do. The missile attacks, what you want to do with these when Black Draft starts to actually fire the missiles, make sure they don't get to the bottom of the screen, or else they will fire backwards at you. Vinogradov, my personal favorite of the bosses, besides evacuating your doom, which I think is my favorite boss. I loved its iteration in high back when they brought it back to the Japanese range mode, which is exclusive to Japan, which is really unfair. Because, I mean, if I could get it with the Rising Star game version of it, the thing is you have to have a European Xbox Live account to get the DLC. Wow, that was bad. I usually don't auto-bomb the Vinograd stage. I usually don't bomb until I actually see that they ship, like you won't see here. This thing is huge. Let me just say, comparing it to realistic size, this thing is huge. It would probably trump just about everything you'll see on the seas today. Another problem with this stage is your multiplier. The only way you can keep your multiplier throughout the stage is by using your standard shot, your spread shot pattern throughout the entire level. Meaning you can't use your lock shot and actually lock on the targets. Because when you do that, every enemy you destroy with it, as all the people that know the Ketsui scoring mechanic should know, hopefully they did learn it a long time ago. When you kill a normal enemy with the lock shot, you lose a big portion of your multiplier. And there's Vinogradov. It's the one-up, the Vinogradov one-up trick saved me so many times in this run. And, oh boy, Evacaneer. I think I make a bunch of mistakes in this run with Evacaneer. Evacaneer is easily I would say it's the best boss, besides Evacaneer Doom, but I'd say it's the best boss, concerning all the aspects of the sheer hell that it is to beat and the frenetic style of it all. I also love how you can interpret these bullet patterns as being cast out in a certain direction, like the second pattern is chucked up in the air, and then this one it's rotary cannons. I hate to say it, I probably would get shot for doing so, but I think that Ketsui would actually make a very good film or book adaptation, because you can really describe this very well. Anyway, second form, arms up. Oh boy. When I first saw this in the arcade runs, when I was watching some Super Plays of Euroloop by, I believe his game name is SPS, when the arms came up, I was like, oh boy, shit just got real. And it does, because he takes down the scaffold on you. And I flew into him. That was probably the dumbest move I've ever made. Oh, and concerning the hitbox system of the bosses, I really don't like how it fly into them. Any portion of them that is considered active by the game, you instantly die. This is most notable on the Javadhar stage, where the gray wings with the number 01 on them that has a cannon pop out. If you fly into them during its second form, die instantly. No exceptions. You are DPAD down to the count. Back in your second form, it will just simply launch these scaffold attacks non-stop. You notice how I'm using the word scaffold. That's actually because of its name, the boss music name is actually scaffold. And literally it looks like the roof is falling down. It's rolling it away. Oh boy. Oh boy. Evacaneer Doom. Easily my favorite boss in, I would say, almost all video games. Right next to a bunch of them, like Master Hand and Crazy Hand and Melee, and all the way up to probably Red and Pokemon Crystal. Evacaneer Doom is easily my favorite of the shmup bosses that I've seen, and probably the most fun. I have to say it's the most fun. Death Label Doom, though, it mixes things up quite a bit. You'll notice that it's actually, you're going to notice later on in the third form that it's actually a lot more resilient than any of its other iterations in this game, being hard. I believe it's hard A or B course, Death Label course, not Death Label, very hard, Doom mode, Extra mode. It really gains a lot of its, like, I guess you could call it armor quality, because it really takes a long time to beat. You'll see in a moment. I'm trying my best to stay alive because I have no bombs here. I was kind of disappointed, I like the easy difficulty-ish. I was kind of disappointed with how the blue bullets on the screen you're going to see right now, they're only firing 5 at a time. Usually they fire in the arcade version about 10. I really don't like how they mix that up. Anyway, Form 3. That's a good way to start things off. Form 3 introduces us to the faster version of Evacaneer, which allows these pink bullets, the pink bullet generators, they spin around at a very high speed compared to the arcade run, where you only see 4 coming out of each, 1 coming out of each wing from 4. This one has 2, but the pink ones spin fast. And you're also going to see that I bomb the hell out of this pattern, which is probably why you wound up being forced to actually keep its anti-bomb shield up. And if you auto-bomb, you automatically use all your bombs and further add to its defenses. It's tricky, but I've seen some plays of the Death Label course that pretty much ace the entire course. It's pretty incredible the way some players can do it and warp the game to their liking, and not just concerning the scoring mechanic, which I'm blowing through the roof with all this auto-bomb. Anyway, almost down. If you're back in your Doom, my one comment on it is that I find that it's remotely well inspired. I don't like the butterfly imagery per se as much as I like the... I don't know why auto-bomb there. I was trying to bomb with its connection too hard to kill this thing off, so... It's tricky. The Death Label course, it's tough, but it's not the hardest. And the ending. I actually looked up Japanese translations of this. The Type A ending focuses on pilot Lloyd Evansman, I think, whose one request is concerning the one he loves, his romantic interest. Apparently he wants her to be isolated, alone for himself. That way, he's all she can think about. It's really selfish compared to the other characters in the Ketsui roster, but... oh well, what are you gonna do? Poor Lloyd. He's pretty much the ex-person of the group. Then we get to the co-pilots, Alice and Yuma. Alice is an interesting character. He's shown here. He's actually sort of an undercover unit in Evac Industries. He gets the actual designs for the Panzerjäger and the Tiger Sword, and that's how they actually take down Evac. He's also fighting for his brother, who is the co-pilot of the Type B ship, Panzerjäger. Alice left his brother at a young age to enlist, and Yuma took offense to this, having been abandoned, quote-unquote, by his brother. He enlisted himself in a sort of effort to outclass his brother. They eventually met, and that is the line of the Ketsui storyline in which Alice actually... His one request per the UN conditions was to save his brother. That was his only request, so the deal with them having to commit suicide at the end, which is a pretty gnarly plot twist, I guess you could say it's negated for Yuma. There's a thing in the special section of this game that actually details Alice's connection to Yuma and explains Evac Industry, how it collapsed, and the truth behind the incident having been an insurgency from the Evac pilots, the backstabbing Evac pilots, I guess you could say. The truth was just obsolete and left behind, which I find is an interesting touch. Ikeda Tsuneki, yes! May he continue to make shmups forevermore. Believe me, it's worth it. Character design, Saito Tomoharu. Mechanic design, Wakabayashi Akira. Arai Kengo Tanaka Hiroyuki. Background design, Hiroyuki again. More Hideki. Music producer, Manabu Namiki, the man. Oh my god. Got me hooked into this music, into the breakcore genre ever since. And the traditional thank you for playing. That is the Death Label course, ladies and gentlemen, the third to last. If you're wondering about where I plan to go with these, I will probably not be putting an extra mode course run up for some time. So you're going to have to stick with the Death Label course for now. That is all, so I will hopefully see you soon on my next project. McKendrick out.